Hola, es un gusto saludarte. El día de hoy traigo un libro muy especial que estaré leyendo solo en inglés. Are you ready? Let's go. A Value Tales Storybook. Harriet Tubman, The Value of Helping. Dedicated to the well-being of children around the globe. The Value of Helping, a value tale about Harriet Tubman. Hello, here I am, up here in the sky. You can call me Starry. I've seen a lot from up here, but nothing like the story of a little girl named Harriet, who became famous for helping people. You can imagine me as her true voice, the voice inside her that Harriet learned to listen to even when things were difficult. Of course, she couldn't really see me, but perhaps she imagined me as a star, as you will soon discover. So, if you're ready, let's begin our story together. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Harriet. Harriet was born during a time when it was actually legal to own another person in certain parts of the United States of America. Harriet was a slave, and she was forced to work very hard for the man who owned her. At harvest time, Harriet and the other slaves picked corn late into the night. While they worked, they would often sing songs about freedom. I wonder if anyone will help us escape, Harriet would ask. The slaves would often whisper about places where all people could be free. There are not any slaves north of where we live, said Harriet's father. All the people there are free, man and woman. I want to go north, Daddy, said Harriet. I want to be free. You see that star up there? Said her father. The big one that never moves? That's the North Star. When you get older, you can go north. Just keep that star in front of you. It will take you to freedom. That's where I come in. As Harriet looked at the real North Star, she imagined that she had a star inside her that would guide her. I became her true voice, that special friend inside of each person that helps you listen to your own best thoughts. As Harriet got older, her desire for freedom grew stronger. She heard stories about something called the Underground Railroad. What is the Underground Railroad, Harriet? I asked her. It's a secret way to escape to freedom, she explained, where people help slaves travel along safe paths. The houses the slaves hide in are called stations on the railroad. Many slaves made it to freedom, but others were caught. Harriet was too scared to attempt it herself. Instead, Harriet decided she would work hard baking pies and then sell them door to door to earn money. You see, if slaves could make enough money, they could sometimes buy their own freedom. Starry, she asked me, how many pies do you think I will have to bake to earn enough money? I think we're getting closer, Harriet, I whispered. Let's keep baking. Harriet listened to herself, smiled, and went back to work more determined than ever to secure her freedom. While out selling her pies, Harriet met a woman who saw how determined she was to be free. If you want to be free, she said to Harriet, I can send you to people who will help you along the way. That's when I whispered to Harriet, if you accept her help, it can get you to a place where you may be able to help lead others to freedom. Harriet thought a long time about whether she should attempt to escape. Harriet knew that there were people who were risking their own freedom in order to help slaves like her. One day, Harriet heard a rumor that her owner was going to sell her. Harriet made up her mind then and there that she was going to escape. She set out that very night and headed into the woods. Don't be afraid, I whispered to her. Your daddy always said if you follow the North Star, it will take you to freedom. You can do it. You're strong and you've got the courage to be free. Harriet needed her courage. She went on for 15 more nights, struggling through the darkness. She tumbled into holes and she tore her clothes on briars. In the daytime, she hid in barns and cellars to avoid getting caught. Along the way, she found people to help her. They passed her along from one helpful person to another until she made it freedom at last. Freedom was as wonderful as Harriet had thought it would be. However, she could not help but think about the many slaves who did not have their freedom. She soon joined the Underground Railroad herself, so she could help others. Over the next 10 years, Harriet helped many slaves escape to freedom. Look, Harriet, I point out, there are posters seeking your capture. Even though there were risks, she carried on. Harriet found many other ways to help. When the Civil War erupted, she joined the Union Army and served as a nurse for injured soldiers. She organized the local slaves to help spy on the Southern forces. At one point, she helped free over 750 slaves from a plantation. When the war was over, even after all she had done, Harriet was only allowed to ride home, laying on the floor of the train's baggage compartment. Starry, we have a long way to go before we are really free. I was too sad to even answer. When she got home, Harriet let people know about the terrible way she had been treated. The newspaper spread her story, and many people worked harder to make things better. Today, thanks to the help of Harriet and others like her, many people are treated more fairly than before. But there is still much work to do. Now, as our story ends, you might want to think about yourself. You may not face the same struggles in your life as Harriet, but whatever you do, you may discover that when you help people in big and small ways, just like our good friend Harriet Tubman, you will be happier too. Historical facts. Harriet Tubman, born in 1820 and died in 1913. Harriet Tubman was a real person, and the events in this value tale really happened. She was born a slave in about 1820 in a small village called Buckton in Dorchester County, Maryland. Harriet was the daughter of slaves. Her grandparents on both sides were brought to America from Africa sometime after 1725. Very early in her life, Harriet witnessed the inhumanities of slavery. Harriet was determined to be free, but she was careful to hide this fact from her owners. In 1849, Harriet succeeded in escaping slavery by making her way to Pennsylvania, earning money so that she could try to free her parents. She soon became involved with the Underground Railroad, an elaborate network of routes and guides and hiding places that helped runaway slaves reach safety. Harriet soon became one of the most active conductors on the Underground Railroad. Despite wanted posters with her description hanging in most towns, and a reward offered for her capture of $40,000, she went on with her work. She personally helped at least 300 slaves escape. When the Civil War started, she volunteered her services, and she worked as a nurse, laundress, cook, and spy for the Union Army in South Carolina. Throughout her long life, Harriet continued to work for freedom and equality. When she was 80, Harriet appeared on platforms with leaders such as Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Harriet died on March 10 in 1913. A bronze plaque on the Cayuga County Courthouse in Auburn, New York, is a tribute to this great American woman. For more information on Harriet Tubman, visit your local library. Parents' Corner. People risked their lives helping Harriet Tubman. Harriet learned from their help and she went on to spend a lifetime helping others. You can help teach your children the value of helpfulness by enjoying these parent child activities. Number one, talk with your children about helpfulness. How did Harriet Tubman help others? You can think of a time when someone helped you. Number two, ask each family member to write down or draw a picture of one thing they need help with, a household chore, reading a story, etc. Exchange papers with a partner and take turns helping each other complete the tasks. Number three, do a simple project with your children. Work a jigsaw puzzle together or make a special dessert or treat. Remind them that helpfulness means teamwork. 4. Discuss with your children ways that your family can be helpful in your neighborhood and community. Plan a family helpfulness project. Volunteer and make a difference in someone else's life. Rake leaves, run errands, or participate in a charity walk. Number 5. After your children have done some or all of these activities, ask, what does it feel like to be helpful? Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and remember, you can watch it again. See you next time.